let's give this whole movie reviewing thing another go. Hello everyone, Boobin87 here, and welcome to my review of the 1987 Predator film, directed by John McTiernan and written by the Thomas brothers, Jim and John. The 1987 Predator really was something different at the time. Going into it, it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. People were expecting this crazy jungle wartime adventure, and what it turned into was a creature feature unlike anything the world had ever seen before, sparking a franchise with 6 sequels, one of which is releasing this month. I figured it would be the perfect time to finally delve into the Predator, and maybe after try to give that Alien franchise another go, since we tried to review it a long time ago. But I feel like this is better presentation, somewhat, it's cool. Yeah, but like the Predator to me has always been one of those movies that's just in the back of my mind as fucking cool. I never really, when people ask me about my favorite films of all time, normally I don't bring up the Predator. But it really is just one of my favorite films of all time. It's one of those things of a movie that you put in the back of your mind. You watch it, you know it's really cool, and you put it in the back of your mind. And then when you come back, you put it in the back of your mind. And when you come back to it, however long after you watch it, then you realize, oh shit, no, I fucking love this movie. Why don't I watch it more? That's what The Predator is to me. It's a movie that I don't find myself watching often, and every time I do, I'm like, wow, I just need to watch this more. Yeah. But I suppose we should get right into my overall ideas of the movie. The pros, the things I'm kind of iffy about, the cons, which there aren't a lot of cons at all. First off, the pros of the Predator, and let's just get it out of the way right now. It's the coolest creature design of all time, right? I mean, it's usually a debate between the Xenomorph, the Yautja, which is the science name of the Predator, I guess, and the Thing from The Thing. And while I do like the Xenomorph, and I recently watched The Thing for the first time, and I think it's a phenomenal movie, there's something about the Predator that's just really cool to me. Like, Xenomorph, animalistic. It does what it does when, in the first movie, because it's scared, because it's alone, and it's trapped on this place, so it's scared, so it's killing everything. And in the second movie, it's doing it to protect its hive. It's like a bee. And I think some of the classifications of xenomorphs even come down to them being labeled as, like, bee characters. Sorry for all the noises. I'm in college, so I can only fucking be scared of whatever that is. But anyway, yeah, so those are more like worker ants and like defender ants. And then the Thing, I think the Thing is a really cool design, but the problem is it has too many cool designs for me to label it as like one of the best creatures of all time, or like the best looking creature of all time, because there's so many different things that I think are extremely cool with the Thing, but it just, there's not one thing I can latch onto, which I guess you could also play into how, that makes it the coolest of all time, because there's so many different iconic things you can attach it to. But even then, it's still kind of your generic alien wants to take over shit. But the Yautja is here for one reason, like fun. Like the Yautja it's a hunter animal. It's not even like a predator. It's a predator in like a metaphorical sense, but it's more of a hunter. It's more of a sportsman. I think in the fourth one, it's compared to more of like a bass fisherman, right? Like the Yautja, they're game animals, or they're game hunters. They look at the warriors on our planet, but also other planets, as we'll see in the new film coming out. I don't know when you're going to see this, so it might have already released, Predator Badlands. But it is much more. It is looking for things that it labels as sufficient warriors, that it labels as sufficient creatures that will pose a great fight against it. And that to me is cooler, because it has honor. It has an honor system. Like, there's some honor system stuff in this movie. A lot more in Predator 2. Yeah, a lot more in Predator 2. We'll see the honor system kind of thing. But there is definitely like a code it goes with. Fuck, I don't remember her name. Doesn't kill Anna. It kills the guy. It kills the guy. Hawkins. It kills Hawkins because Hawkins is armed. Hawkins is like armed to the teeth. It does not kill Anna. Anna is unarmed and she has like no fighting experience. It only wants people who will give it a fight it wants, right? And that to me I find very cool about the Predator. It's not just there to kill and maim or defend its territory. It's actively seeking out things, but only things it wants to kill. I mean, we see in a later movie where this person literally just throws all her weapons away and strips down, and the Predator's like, well, I mean, that's nothing. Like I'd be able to kill that in one swipe. I'm not going to kill that because it's like there's no fight. He wants a fight. These Predators are here to fight things. They're not just here to kill things. And that to me is much cooler than like rapid spreading quantum instantiation. Which is definitely not the word, but it sounds smart. Now that we got that out of the way, which was probably about 5 minutes of me ranting, let's talk about the other things I found really cool about the Predator. And first off, I think the characters actually really work really well. A lot of people look at the Predator as just a complete and utter, like, just an action flick where the characters do not matter and you're just there to see the fights. And while you can look at Predator like that if you want to, I think each character's dynamics with each other really worked well. You know, you got the two good friends. You got Blair and God, I really should have remembered that. I haven't seen the movie in about a month. I'm doing this ranking a month after the fact I've seen it. So some of the character names are a bit iffy. But you got Blair and his friend Jesse Ventura. You know. You got Dutch and Dylan's relationship and their like passive aggressive friendship that also turns into a bit of like a friendly rivalry that turns into just pure like we don't trust each other at all. You got eventually Anna and Dutch. You got, you know, it feels like every character has a direction that they are doing or they're going with everyone else, where whether it becomes like becoming better friends, becoming better adversaries, you know, friendly competition. And, you know, by the end it doesn't really matter, but also like, yeah, like everyone kind of, all the characters mean more than you'd think going into the movie. You go in the movie, you see this squad that's like, okay, there's Arnie, there's Carl Weathers. I don't care about anyone else. But no, like, the characters are important in the movie, and that is something that I think Predator does not get enough credit for, is the writing. The acting, I would also put in the pros. I think the acting is a little bit over the top at all times, but it works for the movie. Again, it's an action horror movie. It is an action suspenseful movie, and I think that the acting actually complements that the movie is an action movie without being too absurd with it. It definitely is a bit over the top, but I kind of want some over the top stuff when it comes to these, like the quips and the one-liners and stuff like that. Speaking on that, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger gives what I think is probably his genuine, like, best actual acting. Because, you know, Arnie, he's always just like the action guy, you know, run around, kill some people, save some girl, run around, kill some people. And I mean, he does that in this movie too, but he does it in a way where it's like he's actually playing a character. This is not an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger playing a character in a movie, which, no hate to Arnie, because he was getting hired to be Arnie in movies. But I think him playing this character that isn't just Arnie being Arnie, I think it works in his favor, and I think it's the best. I think it's the best Arnie movie. Well, I think it's the best Arnie movie, probably. But I also think it's the best Arnie performance that he's ever given. I haven't seen a whole lot of his stuff, but from what I have seen, this is my favorite of him so far. The gore is shockingly graphic, right? The gore is absolutely absurd. The budget of this movie was about $15 million, which is not a whole lot. That's not a whole lot of money for a movie like The Predator. Not The Predator, just Predator. You know, we got to be careful because there's Predator, Predator 2, Predators, and The Predator, because, I don't know, whatever. For the budget they have, the gore is pretty astounding. Not so much in the actual big firefight scene in the guerrilla base camp thing, but definitely when they find the bodies of the chopper mates, they're all skinned up and stuff, and unironically, like, that's some of the best they look in the entire franchise, which is strange because the first movie you should only increase, but, you know, whatever. Yeah, it's absolutely something that you would think it would play against it, but the gore really brings it about, brings it home, brings it completely, like, turns the movie from, like, the gore completes the movie. If it had horrible gore, you would feel that you're missing something, but you don't feel you're missing something because you aren't missing the gore. The gore is there, and you are enjoying the gore. If you're a gore effects guy, you are going to be happy with almost all of Predator, I would say. I think the story we have is a bit generic, but I think it's done really well, where you have, you know, it happens a lot. It's a different take on a very generic story. It happens a lot in Alien and Predator, where the whole, like, subplot of the movie is the government kind of lying to the people to try to get them to a place to get the alien, right? Like, Predator 2, the whole point is those, like, FBI guys want the Predator. The Predator, they just want the Predator. Alien 2, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Prometheus. You know, like, AVP. I don't know about Requiem. I haven't seen Requiem yet. I will, though, for this list we're doing here. But I think it's cool that it actually turns it from, like, oh, this government agency is sending these soldiers to probably die for the alien. They're like, oh, we're sending these soldiers to do something they didn't sign up to do because we need them to do it. And then they happen to encounter the alien. Like, they are sent to do what they think is a hostage rescue. What actually happens is they're to like kill a terroristic cell, and then the Predator shows up. Like, this is not the Predator. The Predator is not the target here, which they do kind of lose in the next movies, but we'll talk about that later. No, yeah, but Predator not being the focus of the movie, it's actually a very slow burn. It's like a slow burn action flick, right? Like, the first half of the movie is an action film, but it is a slow burn movie still. Like, you are building up to the actual Predator. Like, the action stuff is really cool, but you're there for the Predator, and it doesn't ever bore you. Making the slow burn section still action packed, just avoiding giving away the plot, you really have a movie that you're able to sit down, watch, and digest while still being into it. I mean, I think there's also something to say for the ending finale one-on-one segment of the movie. You know, when you have Arnie and the Predator in probably like 20, 25, 30 minutes of just those two both healing, setting up, resting before that inevitable final battle comes. I think, you know, leading up from when Arnie jumps off the waterfall till the end, it's a non-stop, like, action-packed, just like beating you over the head with different iconic moments, right? Like, I have a friend who I was making references to, like, Arnie quotes, and then I'm like, you know that all of the quotes I just said are from Predator, right? He had no clue. The most iconic Arnie quotes of all time, you know, kill me, I'm here, get to the chopper, stick around. They're Predator. They're Predator. It's Predator. It's Predator. It's Predator. But no, the ending is also, well, yeah, I was talking about the ending. I think the ending is also just phenomenal. I think the ending is also impeccable. I think just how The third act of the movie works. The entire third act, I think, is great. I actually do prefer the second act over the third act, but that doesn't take away from the fact that the third act wraps up in an incredible bow with, the nuke explosion. Like, that shit's fucking wild. It's a wild ending, I would say. I would give spoiler warnings, but, like, the movie came out in 87. Like, if you're looking at a review of a movie that dropped, like, a year after the movie dropped, you got to expect, like, it's fine. It's Predator. We all know how Predator ends, do we? Don't we? Now, let's move on to what I think is a bit mixed about the movie, and really the only thing I can think of is Billy's death. So, the Billy is the big hulking, I believe, Native American man who, at the end, he just stands on the bridge, he takes off his shit, keeps his machete, and he's just, humongous with his machete, ready to go fight the Predator. And then you just hear a scream, and that's all you get for his death. And that really is the only thing that kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. He's probably one of my favorite characters in the movie. And then we see him, like, ripping and ready to go for a big one-on-one fight scene with the Predator. And it just kind of turns into, it's just an off-screen scream, and that's really all you get for his death. And that part always rubbed me the wrong way. I'm always a little bummed out for, like, 5 minutes after that. But then, I get back into it because it's Predator. I probably the reason they didn't want to show it is because they wanted to keep that one-on-one aspect saved for the Arnie scene, which makes sense. I still would have liked to see something more for this character that really sets the tone of the film with some of his very cryptic and haunting things, like him saying "I'm scared." And then the guy saying, "Bullshit, you're not scared of anything." And then him saying, "We're all going to die tonight." Like, that's fucking scary. Like, oh, okay, great. I guess we're fucked. And then, it is what it is. No use for me getting mad about it now. In my college dorm room, almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 40 years later. Fucking hell. Am I getting old? Like, what the fuck? The only con I would say that the movie really suffers from is it's old, right? And it being old means that the CGI is not very good. The CGI of the Predator being invisible and running around just doesn't really look very good at points. There are some points where it does look really good. But sometimes it's weird how it, it's running towards you, but it doesn't really look like it's coming closer. There's nothing really to blame for that per se, but it's just not something that really works in its favor, even though it probably did back in the day. Like, this show was probably crazy back in the day. Watching it now, the CGI and the green screen stuff, it's very green screen, I can tell, doesn't really do much in the way of making it better than it is. It doesn't really drop the movie any amount of enjoyment for me. I think it's kind of funny, but it definitely, if we're talking about like a pro or a positive, a negative, and like the mixed, the some of the CGI and green screen work definitely would belong in the negatives. All in all, ladies and gentlemen, though, the Predator is absolutely one of my favorites of all time, and I could not think of a better film to try to re-kick off a movie review channel series with than the Predator. I had a lot of this is probably the most fun I've ever had making a review. Probably because I'm standing up. I talk more when I'm standing up. I'm not sitting down for this review. I figured out a way to record while standing up and make it look okay. But yeah, I love the Predator. I love Predator. And I going to give this an absolute, just straight off the bat, 5 out of 5 stars. Recommend this for horror fans. Recommend this for action fans. Recommend this for Arnie fans. Recommend this for just sci-fi fans. Pretty much everyone can get something out of the Predator. There's even some good comedy bits in here that I like. Like, everyone gets something out of the Predator. 5 out of 5. I love this movie. One of my favorites of all time. But as always, what do you think of The Predator? Do you agree with me that's one of the best of all time? I mean, it's kind of hard to underrate a movie if I'm saying it's 5 out of 5, one of my favorites of all time. But like, if you think it's better than I'm even giving it credit for, let me know. If you actually don't like The Predator, I also want to hear that, because, you know, that's cool. That's cool that you don't like a movie I like, even though I disagree with you. And I hate you. Let me know down in the comments all your thoughts on The Predator. Obviously, I'm going to try to turn this into a big big Predator review series, big Alien review series, the 2 AVP movies, and I want to do a humongous Alien versus Predator 16 film ranking at the end. That'll probably, if I'm able to, I want to bulk record these and then put them out. I want to bulk record, bulk edit, and then just have them set to release like once a day for a while. So we might be with Alien and the Aliens and the Predators for the next month, I would say. Because, yeah, 7 Predator movies, Predator ranking, 7 Alien movies, Alien ranking, 2 Alien vs. Predator movies, and then Alien vs. Predator. Okay, cool. Yeah. That was Predator 1987, directed by John McTiernan. And Bookman 87, out.